Well, it's morning again, and good morning, everybody. Time to stick my feet in the grass. I think this particular subject is as important as any other in the success of anybody trying to change their life and improve their health on carnivore. I think it's as important as all the stuff we talk about, what to eat, how to cook, all that stuff, and may make up one of the biggest problems and impediments against actually successfully doing this. And it's a shame when I hear and read the comments about the struggles that so many people are having with this particular problem. And if you haven't guessed already, I'm talking about living with non-carnivores. I'm sure a lot of you know exactly what I mean, and it's a shame. And like so many divisions, it becomes destructive of relationships and families, especially for those of us that are just severely addicted to carbs and triggered by everything. And we resent the fact that those people that we love and care for, we resent them for doing things and acting in ways that they don't even realize. They don't even realize. And we try to let them know that please, you can't be eating that stuff in front of me. It's destructive. You know they love you. You know they care for you. But their addictions are so strong that the thought of changing their lifestyle to accommodate yours and make your life easier can't even enter their mind. So what do you do? What do you do? You've been married to your spouse for a long time. You've seen them through sickness and health. You've sacrificed for them. They've sacrificed for you. They're your partner in life. And yet they can't even muster up the smallest amount of consideration to help you get over the hump by not constantly eating in front of you. Not only are they eating, but they're ruining their health and putting that burden on you as well. And you just, if you're human, you can't help but resent that. Now this is bad enough if it's happening between you and your friends, because you can just basically say, hey, you know what, maybe we shouldn't be friends anymore. But how do you deal with your family? But how do you deal? How do you deal with people that are making it impossible for you? Well, you can just give up. You can give up and say, well, I know I want to do this, I know I need to do this, but I can't, and my family and my wife and my kids are much more important to me than whether I get sick and die. That's one end of the extreme. The other end of the extreme is you try to fit it in as best you can and constantly ask them to help you out if they love you. You can get divorced. You can give them the ultimatum. You can say, you know what? Obviously you don't love me because everything you do is destructive to what I'm trying to do. And if you can't keep your junk food out of my face, if you can't be considerate enough of me, even if you don't want to join me on this, then we have to separate. And I mean, that's a sad and brutal truth, but people have divorced for far less than that. I can't tell you what to do. I can't recommend what you do. I don't want to be responsible for you breaking up your family or your friendships. But the sad fact and the sad reality is it's something that you have to face, and you have to face it, because if you don't, you will fail and it won't work. So don't even bother. Don't even bother. One strategy might be make them eat their junk food in another room away from you. Get it out of your sight. You have to be the one that knows what you can tolerate and what derails you. You have to be a little creative. Understanding that they're also addicted to these things and thoughtlessly do what they do is the same as you expecting them to understand why you do what you do. It's a tricky situation with no one-size-fits-all answer, but it's a problem that has to be addressed. And the sooner that you address it, if you're in that situation, and try to come up with a compromise or a fix where you can get along with those people you live with and have them show you even a small amount of consideration for your efforts, the sooner you'll succeed. If you can't, and you've tried everything, and you're so carb addicted that you have to stay away from people, at least until you get adapted to this. If you have to stay away from people, then do something. Go away for 30 days or 60 days. Isolate yourself. Whatever it takes, it's going to take. I'm talking about these things from a position of having built my own life so that I can do this without the temptation. And for me, it's kind of an extreme. I've pretty much isolated myself socially. I live alone. I wouldn't dare enter a new relationship because I've been there and done that, and I will not give up my autonomy anymore. It's extreme, but it works. Turns out I love living this way, and I love the autonomy. We're all different. I can't advise you on that, but I can tell you that if you're living with people that are not having any regard for your efforts and what you want to do, it's going to derail you. You have to do something about it, whether it's just a compromise or something as extreme as separating yourself somehow in your life from those bad influences which are keeping the things that you're craving and that you're addicted to in your face. That's a choice that has to be made, a problem that has to be addressed. Try calmly asking for help. That's always the best way. Ask them to help you. Very few people will turn you down when you ask for their help. On the other hand, when you demand somebody does something, give ultimatums and get loud, that never works. So if you have somebody living in your house, explain what you're doing. Sometimes they may think you're crazy and they'll tell you, I'm not going to support that. I think you're hurting yourself. Now you got a real problem. You got somebody that doesn't believe that you have half a brain. Sometimes the only answer is to just split. It's radical. Well, sometimes it may be the only way to save your life, so I don't know. We've all seen those movies where somebody's yelling to somebody else, "Save yourself," as the ship is sinking. Well, you may have to save yourself. That's kind of radical. I think the best thing is try to make peace, try to make them understand. Don't demand they do anything. Try to explain it to them. If they've got half a brain and they love you, they'll help you out. If they don't, I'm sorry. You need to get the hell out of there. Or give this up and just continue on your way, eating crap, getting sick, have a nice retirement. It's tough to sugarcoat this, but it is the biggest problem. It's the biggest problem that we have for people that don't live alone. It's so much easier when you live alone. And I'm not advocating that you be a hermit, but the rest of society is built around making themselves sick and taking drugs. You have to decide if you want to play that game or not. And if you don't, you have to address it. You have to face it head on. You have to try tactics at first that will get the people that are derailing your lifestyle to want to help you, even if they disagree with you, and come up with some plan where you don't have to sit and watch them 24/7, stuff in their face, full of stuff that you're addicted to and is killing you. That's hard with somebody you love because you're watching them kill themselves. Something else that sometimes you just have to get away from if you can't get through to them. So this is a real problem. This is something that needs to be addressed. And you're going to have to address it if you think you're going to have any chance of succeeding, changing your lifestyle to one, radical or not, that helps make you healthy. Do the best you can. I wish there was more advice I could give you, but it is an individual thing with individual situations. And we all have to do what's best for us, but we all have to do something. So while you think about that, take the rest of the day off and eat meat.